Hello V Squad, welcome back to another episode of the VGIRL podcast by VGIRLTV. You guys are getting a first look at what I have going on right now. Oh my God, thank you. Oh my God, these kids. My daughter's in the background giving the babysitter a hard time. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the podcast. If you guys are watching on YouTube, welcome back. So glad to see everybody. I know that this is a little bit different for you guys, but as per your request, I have decided that I was gonna put everything all into one channel. So you're basically gonna get our lives on Tuesday here on YouTube on VGIRLTV. And then you're still gonna get your vlogs on specific day. I haven't worked out the logistics of what day you guys are gonna get vlogs on, but I'm working it out. And then on another specific day, which I still don't even know which day I'm gonna upload, you guys are gonna get podcast content discussing current events, everything that's happening in the PTY, as well as what's happening in the United States of America and worldwide. Your girl always has something to say, and I'm always getting people in my DM requesting me to make content, or they want to hear my opinions about something because they know I always have an opinion and I'm going to say something and I'm going to keep it 100% real. So here we are, okay? First things first, before we jump into the live discussion, I do want to update you guys on a few things. I am on Instagram, so shout out to all my Instagram people that follow me, that's getting the behind the scenes look at this whole process of me recording podcasts and YouTube content, okay? I think this actually isn't going to be only for membership. I don't know, okay? No, baby, I am not on YouTube. I'm actually recording content. So I decided to let you guys see the behind the scenes. So, before we get into the gist of everything, I do want to update you on a few things before we get into the shenanigans that's been happening, okay, on these Beyonce internet streets, okay? So, VGIRLTV, well, I just updated you guys on VGIRLTV, but if you guys have not already done so, check out our new website, okay, www.vgirltv.com, and sign up for our membership tab, okay, our membership, vgirltv.com, sign up for membership, okay? I need you guys to do that because YouTube won't let me be great. So I need to figure out a way that I can directly get in contact with you guys, and the only way that I can do that is if you guys give me your email so that we can stay connected, okay? So yeah, do that. And then also I'm getting complaints that people can't find me on YouTube either, or they're not getting their alerts for whatever reason. I'm telling you, YouTube is trying to destroy your sister, okay? But it's okay, okay? It's okay. Sign up at www.vgirltv.com. Subscribe to our mailing list, and I personally will send you guys the alerts, and you'll also get information on upcoming content and upcoming events, so make sure you head down there. Okay, another thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys is that Christmas is coming, and as you guys, I don't know if you happen to see this other video or if you happen to listen to my other podcast where I had a conversation with Delano from Cologne. If you are Panamanian, if you live in Panama, you know that Cologne is a province in Panama, mostly with black and brown people. And right now we have a gentleman by the name of Delano who is running for Representante de Colón Barrio Norte, all right? And congratulations to him because he actually when you run independent, you don't have the financial backings like other people, unfortunately. And the fact that he was able to get enough signatures to be able to qualify for the runnings, that's amazing. So please, I need you guys to support this young man. He is an independent runner, okay? So if you are Panamanian descent, if you are from Cologne, please support him. He's doing amazing things, and I personally am working with him on a few things because he does have a foundation where he provides after school activities for children in Cologne, where he teaches them how to speak English. He takes them out and does extracurricular activities, and he sent me some pictures of the kids. And I want to be honest with you, these kids are so cute, okay? So I have decided that I am going to do a toy drive, okay? This toy drive, you can do it from anywhere. If you are in Panama, you can literally purchase a toy from any store from the ages of 0 and 14 years old, 0 months, I'm sorry, to 14 years old. And you can drop the gift off at one of my stores, which is Pretty Image Boutique. So you can drop it off in the Cologne area, you can drop it off in Los Andes, Los Pueblos, or San Miguelito, and we will take care of that. Now, if you are listening or watching from the United States, we can't, I don't want to say that we can't, but it wouldn't make any sense for you guys to mail gifts because we have to claim it on taxes, and it's like a whole process. So we would prefer that you send in financial donations. I'm sorry. So I have provided a GoFundMe link. So you guys literally can click the link in my Instagram bio. If you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is IAM_V_Monroe. Or you can go to the website www.VGIRLTV.com and you can click the donate for toy drive, and those funds go directly toward the event that we're trying to have. So I'm gonna do a toy drive. We are trying to raise $2,500. If we go over that, amazing, because then we can buy gifts for more kids. And we actually want to do like a Christmas party. So that is something that I am working on. If you are watching, I'm going to leave the flyer right here. If you are on YouTube and you're watching this video, you can actually check out the flyer. It'll be in my community tab, okay? If you are listening to this, the flyer will be available on the website, so you can check it out there. Okay, so it's been a lot of things that's been going on this week, y'all. Like, first of all, I don't even know where to start. I had this recording I actually had done before, and unfortunately I had to scrap it because the sound was really messed up. So I'm now using another program because, you know, I don't got time to be re-recording content all the time. It's really stressful, okay? Especially being a mother of 2 and a 6-month-old is extremely tiring. So I say that to say I'm re-recording this, and I'm gonna start with this topic, okay, before we go into all the other Trump foolery that's been going on these internet streets. So I was scrolling down Instagram per usual, and I came across this article about this girl named Stephanie Comfort. So for those of you who do not know who Stephanie Comfort is, and this article actually was written in Forbes magazine. So it says, Stephanie Comfort shares why Black women often pay higher prices for speaking their truth on social media. And so when I seen this title, I'm like, yo, this title I can relate to so much, because I have been on YouTube for a while now, but actually taking YouTube seriously for about 3 years. And on YouTube for 3 years, I will say it has came with challenges, okay? Especially coming from a woman of color. I literally see, so let me just say, I make content about my experiences living in Panama as a black woman who is a descendant of Panamanian and Jamaican ancestry. And also my experiences with growing up in Brooklyn, New York, because I did grow up in Brooklyn, New York. Shout out to my Brooklyn crew. And so my perspective on Panama's culture is going to be completely different from those who may be Caucasian that is living in Panama, right? And one of the things that I realized is that when I started making content and speaking my truth about what my experiences were living in Panama, people really came for me, okay? Because I did not give people this cookie cutter response on what my experiences was like living in Panama. I've had people tell me that I was a liar. I had people telling me that I didn't know what I was talking about. I even have my own Panamanian people saying to me, like, why would, these are the ones that moved back to the States, like, why would you live in Panama? Like, why would you do that? So I have experienced it all, I've heard it all, but regardless, I wouldn't change anything. I can't be fake, right? But I think for some reason when a black woman, especially, because my father always told me, when you're a black woman, you have 3 strikes against you. 1, because you're black. 2, because you're a woman. And 3, you have to work 3 times as hard as your counterpart, because you're in competition with the white man, the white woman, and the black man, just for being a woman. So there's so much things as a black woman that we have to put up with, okay? And I find myself oftentimes that I have to dim down my light in order to make other people feel comfortable, because people always have a tendency of saying black women are aggressive, black women are too opinionated. Yo, it's just really crazy. So I want to go into this article real quick, and I'm not going to read the entire article. I'm just going to get to the meat. I mean, you guys can check out the article whenever you want. I can just leave the link in the description box, so that's fine. So in the beginning of the article, she talks about, and this is on Forbes, by the way, she talks about how she became a content creator, and that she started in the pandemic, and she was a school teacher, and she was doing a lot of videos and creative content for the school, and her students were the one who actually inspired her to start a YouTube channel, right? So then I'm going through the article right now. Okay. So she made this video, right? And I actually came across that video on YouTube, which was really interesting. And so I'm gonna read it, and thank you. I'm on Instagram, guys, and Kaida said, "You're the most genuine and selfless people I know." That is so sweet. Thank you, sis. So the interviewer asked her, "Could you talk a little bit more about your experiences on YouTube? You shared that you had a video about desirability politics that went viral. But what have been your experience since your video went viral, seeing so much growth in a short period of time?" So she then goes on to say, "Well, that's an interesting question. So initially it was very hard to understand why so many people wanted to watch that video, or why so many people took interest, or why that video got so much push behind YouTube algorithm. I still to this day don't understand exactly what I said that was so different. I still am not sure all the places the video has been posted and all the people that have seen it. I think that's best that blinders are on when it comes to that." The interviewer asked her, "One thing I feel like I can't read. I apologize now. One thing I was really interested in is having you explore in a recent video. You were talking about some of the criticism that you received since being online, specifically on YouTube. And you discussed vulnerability and your experiences being vulnerable online. I think it's important to note that there has been critics of Brene Brown who say that even though she encourages vulnerability, that vulnerability doesn't necessarily work the same way for Black women. What are your thoughts around your experience being vulnerable online? Do you see the world receives you in a different way, or do you think that vulnerability has worked to your advantage? So I thought that this was an amazing question, and when I read it, I'm like, okay, I'm curious to see how she responds to it. So her response was, I think it's 50-50. So I definitely was inspired by Brene Brown when I started getting some feedback. And I've watched her specials and I've read the books, and it didn't really click for me that this was something I needed to focus to use to justify what I was doing, until I started receiving negativity, which I never expected. I think with Black people in general, we are encouraged to mask in society. I see people about it on social media platforms all the time, not necessarily on YouTube, but people talking about Black women with our hair. We can't just go out looking any kind of way. We have to make sure that we are put together. I have 4C, which is a kinkier type of hair, and I know there's just so much history there that how we have to pay higher tax in society when it comes to how we choose to represent ourselves. And because we know that, we are harder on ourselves, we are harder on each other. There's so much stuff that's thrown on Black women, from hyper masculinization of us and the hypersexualization of us, and the criticism about how independent, so many rules. And really, when it comes down to it, it has nothing to do with us at all. It's all about society and its negative bias towards us as a group of people. I definitely think that because of this, I choose to walk about certain things like, oh, you're just adding to reasons why people won't like us. That's one criticism that I got. It came from the Pretty Privilege video. It's just another dark-skinned woman complaining. So the Pretty Privilege video she made was about how you get privileges for being attractive. Specifically, if you are a lighter skinned Black woman, you get specific privileges. And the video was very interesting. I'm not gonna sit up here and say I'm a dark skinned woman, because I know I'm not a dark skinned woman. And I don't know what it's like to be a dark-skinned woman, because I can't walk in her shoes. I can only speak from my experiences. And I had this conversation with one of my friends. Her name is Tanisha. Shout out to Tanisha. And she's dark-skinned, but this girl is so beautiful. Like, she is gorgeous, right? And she was the first person that actually came to me with this, this notion that dark-skinned women aren't treated as fairly as light-skinned women. And at first I was just like, girl, I don't get it, because you're beautiful. Like, I don't understand and when I say this girl's beautiful, she's really beautiful. I'm not even lying, okay? And I'm not just saying that because she's my friend. She really is a beautiful girl, and she dresses nice, and she has a really amazing body. So I just didn't see what she was saying. But she did point out certain things to me, and when I did tell her, like, girl, please, I don't believe you, she was so offended by it, right? She almost, I don't want to say that she almost stopped speaking to me, because she didn't, but she really felt some way behind my comment. And I really had to take myself out of, well, put myself in her shoes and try to be open-minded to how she feels, because again, we all literally are going through that, right? I'm having problems with people listening to me and me expressing my truth, and she has the same issue because she's expressing her truth, and I'm just like, or not only me, but people are overlooking what she has to say. So for that reason, with the pretty privileged video on YouTube, I didn't really take offense to it, or I didn't doubt her, because reality is definitely a perception of the individual, right? And I think a lot of what's going on in this world, why we have so many issues with whites and blacks and gays and straights and this and that, is literally because people love to discredit other people's reality, right? I think that it's super important for us to respect other people's realities and the truth that they live. And I only started realizing that until I was literally put into that situation. Okay? So, what she says about black women having to pay the higher price and have to move differently, yo, when I tell you this is 100% true, I had made, like when I first started making YouTube videos, right, I really had to hold myself back a lot because I was scared that if I said certain things or if I spoke a certain way that people would judge me and tell me that I was ghetto and they wouldn't take my videos seriously, versus Kate, who's making videos about Panama, and her delivery is completely different. Her reality is completely different. Her views was up to wazoo, okay? We literally were providing information, providing the same information, but her reality and my reality were two different perspectives, but everybody went with her reality because of physical characteristics, I would say. So I was holding myself back a lot. Like, I wouldn't speak the way I spoke. I would try to put my hands under my legs so I wouldn't move my hands, because people would be like, oh, you're talking with your hands, you're ghetto, you don't know what you're talking about. As if me speaking with my hands means that I'm any less educated than someone that doesn't speak with their hands. But who am I? Like, it is what it is, right? So I found myself like really holding back and not saying certain things because I was super scared that I wouldn't appeal to a certain demographic. But honestly speaking, once I stopped doing that and just speaking however I felt the need to speak and saying what I was, because you know what I was trying to hold back from who I was and speaking the way I spoke, people were still criticizing me. And let me tell you, they ripped me to shreds. You hear me? Child, when I tell you they ripped me to shreds, they ripped me to shreds, to pieces. Like, if I didn't have the thick skin that I have, I probably would have went under a rock and never came back out, because that's how bad they went in on me, right? So after that, I realized, I was like, you know what? I'ma just be me and be myself. Whoever rock with me. If you don't rock with me, you don't rock with me. But I can't continuously try to dim my light and hold myself back to make other people see me, because eventually you can only be fake for so long. People are going to recognize and realize who you really are. So it's better to have a tribe of people that love you for you versus having a whole bunch of people jumping on the bandwagon because they're assuming that you're this type of way and you're really not. So that was one of the things that, like, I really was just like, you know what, I just gotta be myself and just deal with it. I realized that black women, when we're speaking our truth, we experience things, and people are not gonna receive us the same way as our counterparts, and we just have to be okay with it, and not let our blackness or our sex let's not victimize ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? We know what it is at the end of the day, but it's so important to not be a victim of what other people project on you, or what sometimes you may project on yourselves, right? So I thought that was a really good article. If you guys are interested in reading the whole entire article, you guys can check it out. I'll leave the link in my comment section, not in my comment section, in my description box on YouTube. And then if you are listening to the podcast version, if you are on Spotify, there's like a note section. I'll leave the link there so that you guys can go ahead and watch it, right? Wonderful. All right, in news, okay, it's a lot of Trump foolery going on these internet streets. And literally, I did not want to comment on it, but I got a DM and you know, it's just a lot, okay? All right, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about, or what I wanted to address per these internet streets, I had took notes, y'all, so I have all the notes over here. So Mike Bonin, guys, if you do not know who Mike Bonin is, he is an elected official in LA. Don't ask me why I have on this Los Angeles shirt. It had nothing to do with this podcast, okay? I just happened to have the shirt, couldn't find something to wear, so I just put it on. But anyway, so he is a gay man who is married and adopted a black boy, right? And apparently one of his co-workers, her name is, hold on, let me look it up. She's a Latin descent. And you know what's so funny, what I realized with American media? This chick, she was born in America, which means that she's American, right? But in the article, her name is Nury Martinez, okay? When you look her up, it says she became the first Latina to hold the powerful post of Los Angeles City Council president. Okay, now she's Latina. But when she won, or when you Google her, they call her an American politician. Yo, I can't even make this up. This whole thing, like, I can't deal with the media at times. Is she gonna be Latina or is she gonna be American? Is she's American Latina? I'm not sure. I don't know which one. This whole ethnicity bounce back and forth thing, I just can't deal with it, right? But anyway, so basically so the article that was all over CNN, they basically said that she called this man's child a monkey, right? So before I heard the audio, I'm sorry, I was just like, wow, that was really disrespectful. Like, how's she gonna call this man black son a monkey? But then when I got the context, okay, first of all, I do want to say I'm not condoning racism, okay? I'm not condoning racism, but listen to the full audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or VGIRLTV.com.